Hello, Assalamu alaikum, and welcome to Dove, No Damage Beyond Repair, in association with Express Tribune. मैं हूँ Zahra Khan, and this is giving me a wonderful opportunity to meet and interact with amazing women who are bearing their heart and are telling you their journey. हमारी ज़िंदगी में बहुत सारे उतार चढ़ाव आते हैं, कई अनएक्सपेक्टेड एक्सपीरियंसेस आते हैं, ऐसी तकलीफ़ें आती हैं जिनके लिए हम तैयार नहीं थे, ऐसी जजमेंट्स आती हैं जो हमें बहुत अनफेयर लगती हैं, लेकिन हम इनकी आंखों में आंखें डालकर ये रियलाइज़ करते हैं कि ये डैमेज रिपेयर के बियॉन्ड नहीं है. इनफैक्ट वी गैदर ऑल आवर स्ट्रेंथ एंड वी टर्न देम इनटू आवर अपॉर्चुनिटीज़. मेरी आज की मेहमान ने भी एग्जैक्टली यही किया. What I love about her is her bravado, is her courage, and more importantly, she's a no-nonsense person. अगर आप इनसे बात करेंगे आपको पता चलेगा मैंने एग्जैक्टली क्यों कहा है. She's an entrepreneur and one of her biggest challenges was कि उनके पास एक ज़बरदस्त corporate opportunity थी. She was doing really well for herself. But she decided to pursue her passion, her source of joy, and she is a living ambassador of how we should all be cultivating our own joy and our own passions. So let's meet the wonderful, the amazing Zahra Khan. Assalamu alaikum, Zara.
Wa alaikum assalam.
How are you?
Great.
My favorite no-nonsense person. मुझे बताओ, what does the word nonsense mean to you?
So the word nonsense comes from the fact that we live in a world where there are a lot of pretenses, there is a lot of unrealness in interactions, in the way we portray ourselves even on social media, the way people speak to one another. There are a lot of formalities that come in the way. And for me, the concept of no nonsense was so important because I wanted to kind of eradicate these notions that we have, the way people are, being with one another.
So in other words, जैसे हम चेहरे पे चेहरा होता है ना, एक मास्क लगा कर आते हैं. मुझे ये बताओ कि you had a flourishing marketing career and you decided to not take that path and travel the road less taken, which is of being an entrepreneur. इस पे judgment तो बहुत आई होगी.
बहुत ज़्यादा. Judgments and comments from society. A lot of doubt was put into me. I started second guessing myself.
Wow.
Am I making the right decision? You're constantly being told that you have a job, so you should be grateful for it. So many people are looking for jobs to have. Why would you leave your job? And in my head, I always used to think, but I have this business of mine that's doing pretty well. Logically, I should be giving it more time. But for a woman to kind of put aside what she is meant to be, the roles that she's meant to have, and do something that she wants to do, is something that's not seen very positively in society.
एक स्टेबल जॉब है जिसमें अच्छी ग्रोथ अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ हैं, ज़बरदस्त ब्रांड्स के लोगों के साथ काम करने का मौका मिल रहा है, और आप कह रही हैं कि मैं ये छोड़कर अपना हसल को टाइम देना चाहती हूँ. तो अक्सर लोगों ने कहा इसमें तो कोई अक्लमंदी नहीं है, तो बड़ी बेवकूफ़ी की बात है, और इसकी वजह से सेल्फ डाउट आया. सेल्फ डाउट कैन बी वेरी डैमेजिंग. हाउ डिड यू पिक अ चॉइस एंड से कि अच्छा यार ये आपका ओपिनियन है, but your opinion does not reflect on me, और मैं अपनी मर्जी करूँगी?
Absolutely. It wasn't easy. This thought that came, to my mind where I would put myself first, it took a long time for me to actually believe that I could do it. And I guess I learned it the hard way, where in the midst of my journey of working and having my side business, I was diagnosed with breast cancer.
Okay.
So during that time, I literally faced death, right? And it was a time where I realized that if I'm being given another chance, I should live life the way I want to. So that was what made me.
Help me understand this. एक ही वक्त में तुम काम कर रही थी, तुम साइड हासिल भी कर रही थी. If I'm not wrong, you had gotten married.
Yes.
And then you received the diagnosis कि तुम्हें breast cancer है. How did you process it? पहला रिएक्शन क्या था?
So, since we're on the word no nonsense, it's interesting because the kind of person that I am very no nonsense. So when I received the diagnosis, I surprisingly was not in a state of shock. I was obviously alarmed. It was a big deal. You hear the word cancer and you're just like, Hay Allah, kya ho gaya? It's a major taboo word as well. But for me, in my mind, I was like, this is something which I have to behave with in a very no-nonsense way. It is what it is. I will ensure that I will overcome this in a very no-nonsensical way.
I can see it still makes you very emotional.
Yes.
It chokes you up.
Yes,
मुझे
exactly.
बताओ, I am a big admirer of your courage and your strength. ये courage कहाँ से आती है? यानी जब हम इतने स्ट्रेसफुल, इतने स्ट्रेनिंग सर्कमस्टांसेस में हो, जहाँ जजमेंट भी आ रही है, जहाँ बीमारी भी है, बीमारी का इलाज भी बहुत मुश्किल है, तकलीफ दे है. What's the source of courage?
Faith. Faith is my source of courage. I knew that I was put in this situation by God, and it was, you know how they say that Allah never puts you through something that you cannot handle. So I kind of felt strength in that.
कंफ्यूजन नहीं थी, यानी जैसे मिसाल के तौर पे पता चलने के बाद कई लोग बड़े अरसे तक कंफ्यूज रहते हैं, लोग आपको और डाउट में डाल रहे होते हैं कि इलाज कराओ नहीं कराओ, छोड़ दो, इलाज करने से ये हो जाएगा. यानी आई वर्क टुवर्ड्स ब्रेस्ट कैंसर अवेयरनेस जस्ट लाइक यू. और लोगों के इतने स्टिग्मास, इतने जजमेंट्स, इतने मिसकंसेप्शंस हैं कि इलाज कराया तो बढ़ जाएगा, इलाज अपने आप में. तो वर यू नॉट कंफ्यूज्ड एट दैट टाइम?
बिल्कुल, like these kinds of comments came all the time. People were telling me, do this, go there, go to this doctor, don't get the biopsy done, usse bharta hai, etc., etc. It was important for me to start off with acceptance that, okay, this is what I have been diagnosed with, and whatever steps I take on from here, I cannot be confused about them, because that's only going to make it worse for me. And then people will always say things to you. I remember I was about to start my chemotherapy, and some people said that you will need a 24-hour nurse with you. You will not be able to step out of the house. You will not be able to do your work. You will have to leave your job. And these kinds of comments really scared me. Zahira, when you hear about chemotherapy, people freak out, and rightfully so, but these comments from other people were kind of discouraging me about the treatment. And alhamdulillah, I had the courage, the support system to ensure that none of those things happened. I continued with my job.
Wow.
My organization was very supportive. They said, when you feel down, don't work. When you want to work, come in. My family, my husband, the kind of support that they gave me, it was amazing, and it keeps you going as well.
अच्छा, तुमने जब when you were dealing with breast cancer, that whole experience, the journey, the treatment, उस वक्त क्या काम से और अपने खास तौर पे अपने cheesecake business से break ली थी?
No. Not a single day.
Wow, okay.
So with my job, because they were so amazing, obviously I took breaks here and there, especially during my first couple of months of chemotherapy. I took a break. They let me take that break. Ab 4 mahine off le lo, 6 mahine off le lo, come back whenever you can. But my cheesecakes kept going because I was down, I was in bed, I was without any energy, but I still had my phone and I could still take orders. And I have a team. Alhamdulillah, by that time I had created a team. My mother was managing a lot. The support I got from my husband and my mother in this, they were managing the execution part of it. And I was taking orders from my phone. In my head, I was like, if I can do this, then well and good,
Tell me something. जैसे हम कहते हैं ना कि हर मुश्किल में आसानी है. Harrowing experience going through breast cancer as a young woman. लेकिन क्या इसने तुम्हारी priorities को crystal clear कर दिया? यानी when it came to the decision between continuing to work a job or to pursue your career in your food business, आसान हो गया शायद क्योंकि वक्त को अहमियत देने लगी होगी ना कि ज़िंदगी में तो कभी भी कुछ हो सकता है.
कुछ भी, yeah. So during this whole time, I realized time is so precious. Experiences are so precious. Life is too short to say, अभी मैं ये चीज़ नहीं करूँगी because अभी मेरे पास इतने पैसे हैं or whatever. For me, it's all about if you have a certain amount of money or time, just go all out and do it. You never know what's going to happen with you. So for me, when I had gone through that experience of facing death, straight on, I realized that I need to do exactly what I want to do. There's no ifs or no's or buts.
You also work towards raising awareness and being a support pillar for people who are women who are going through breast cancer. सबसे बड़ी मिस्टेक हम क्या करते हैं, मुझे लगता है कि अगर हम ज़बान से ना भी कहें, देयर टाइम्स हमारे एटीट्यूड में सिंपैथी के बजाय पिटी आ जाती है, यानी हम दूसरे को बेचारी के तौर पे देख रहे होते हैं. डिड यू एक्सपीरियंस इट? एंड फॉर माई व्यूअर्स हु परहैप्स हैव नेवर बिन कोच, किसी ने उनको नहीं बताया कि कोई शख्स अगर बहुत इस तरह की बीमारी से गुजर रहा हो तो उससे बात कैसे करनी है, उसका हौसला कैसे बढ़ाना है. व्हाट डज अ पेशेंट नीड एंड व्हाट आर सम ऑफ द डूज एंड डोंट्स. डूज जो हम शायद समझ रहे हैं कि हम अगले की हेल्प कर रहे हैं, बट इन फैक्ट हम उसको डैमेज कर रहे होते हैं.
बिल्कुल. For me, it's so important to speak to a cancer patient or anyone who's going through any kind of, disease or struggle, is to not make them feel worse about it. You kind of have to speak to them in a way. For me, it was so important that people spoke to me normally. Treat me like I'm still normal and I'm absolutely fine. Because I'm handling the part of the journey where no one can really help me. It's my own body, the medications, the treatment, etc. But when you meet me, okay, let's talk about the journey I'm going through, like 5% of it. But I want to spend the rest of this time with you talking about normal things like we would. Talking about your life, talking about what's happening in life, just
about what's happening out in the world, क्या ट्रेंड्स है, पॉलिटिक्स में क्या हो रहा है, एटसेट्रा एटसेट्रा. लेकिन लोग आके एक स्पॉटलाइट डाल देते हैं पेशेंट के ऊपर और सिर्फ उसी के बारे में बात कर रहे होते हैं. That's something we should not do.
No.
What other judgmental or damaging behaviors have you noticed?
So throughout this time, a lot of people found it very remarkable that my husband is still standing right by my side during this disease that I'm going through. I remember even during my radiation, this lady said something to me which was a little alarming. She said, and my radiation happened after my surgery where I had gone through a double mastectomy. So she said to me कि आपके husband ने आपको allow कर दिया. And I was taken really aback by that because it was a matter of it was about my health. It was about me living or not. And here, the question of whether my husband allowed me to go through the surgery had a lot of question marks for me.
ये superficial behavior बहुत deeply entrenched है, Zara.
It's coming from somewhere.
I'm sure कि तुम जब community से interact करती हो, there are so many women who लिटरली जब उनका डायग्नोसिस होता है या जब वो ट्रीटमेंट के लिए पहुंचती हैं, वो 3rd या 4th स्टेज में होती हैं, यही सोच के कि शायद उनके बारे में जजमेंट होगी, उनकी डिज़ायरेबिलिटी कम हो जाएगी,
उनके मियाँ उनको
छोड़ देंगे उनके हस्बैंड्स उनको. आई मीन ऑल ऑफ दिस इज अ फियर दैट women live with.
I had to take a step back and kind of understand where this woman was coming from. I realized that she has probably experienced this herself, and in Pakistan generally this is what women are going through. And with my voice, the reason why I'm an advocate for breast cancer and I'm going out talking about this is that I feel like women need to find the confidence to start putting their lives first. They're so scared of the societal norms around them. Someone or the other will leave them, their husband will leave them, their parents will abandon them, their in-laws will do something. And इसी चक्कर में stage 4, stage 3, stage 4 तक पहुंच जाते हैं and then there's no cure.
और मुझे ये भी लगता है ज़ारा कि हमारी सोसाइटी इन जनरल एक ओवरवर्क्ड ओवर एक्सटेंडिंग वुमन को ग्लोरीफाई भी करती है. यानी वो खातून जो अपना ख्याल ना रख रही हो, शी इज़ पोर्ट्रेड टू बी सेल्फलेस एंड दिस अमेजिंग ग्रेसफुल पर्सन के देखो अपने से ज़्यादा दूसरों का ख्याल है. लेकिन अगर आप अपना ख्याल नहीं रख रहे, आई थिंक दैट्स हैरोइंग, क्योंकि अगर आप अपना ख्याल खुद नहीं रखेंगे तो फिर आपका ख्याल कौन रखेगा.
बिल्कुल.
मुझे ये बताओ कि now you're on the other side of the bridge, you've crossed it, and mashallah you're confident, you're a beautiful person inside and outside. लेकिन एक बड़ा मेरे ख्याल में अहम चीज़ यकीनन ये होती है कि when you've gone through the surgery, you've gone through the radiation and the chemo, your appearance is changing. It's nothing in front of the battle that you're fighting. लेकिन कहीं ना कहीं तमाम ख़वातीन को ये ख्याल आता है.
सबसे ज़्यादा.
How did you cope with that when you were losing hair, when your body had no strength?
Yeah.
There must have been bad days as well.
I think one of the prime reasons why women are not seeking treatment is because उनके बाल गिर जाएंगे.
Wow.
उनको एक ना एक surgery करनी होगी जहाँ they will operate on the breasts, either removal of one, sometimes removal of both. These are harrowing experiences and thoughts for a woman, because throughout traditionally we have always been told that a woman should look a certain way. Her beauty comes from her hair, her looks, her body, her femininity, and this precisely breast cancer kind of takes it away from you.
Yeah.
And I had to go through it, and I remember when I was told what my treatment plan will be like. Chemotherapy karni hai mujhe, 16 sessions. It was like the most difficult and extreme form of treatment. After that, I was told I have to remove both of my breasts, which is for a woman, once again, shocking. Uske baad radiation. And I realized if I want to stay alive, I have to do this whole treatment end to end. There's no cutting corners or removing one part of it. I'm going to go through hell, literally. I can't take the risk of having breast cancer come back to me. So right from the beginning, I made it a point to ensure that I'm going to be completely okay with this. I'm going to go bald. I'm going to lose my eyebrows, my eyelashes. I'm going to gain weight. I'm going to lose all energy, but this is part of the process and I have to stick with it. So acceptance is the most important thing. I have women who are going through chemotherapy and they're crying, and it's absolutely fine to obviously grieve, but in shock that their hair is falling. You know that with chemotherapy your hair is going to fall. So the best way to deal with it is to accept that it's going to fall and move on. For me, I've realized during this whole time of mine is that damage is not permanent. It is only temporary. And I had so much faith in the fact that this time is only temporary and I will come back stronger.
You had major trust in the process.
Complete trust.
Where does that come from? And I want to know कि जो हमारे देखने वाले हैं उनको ये पता हो कि जब आप उससे गुजर रहे होते हैं, when there is no end at sight, कि नहीं नज़र आ रहा कि what is that, you know, that final destination that I'm moving towards, how do you still continue trusting the process?
Alhamdulillah, Allah literally gave me some kind of himmat. My mindset was so, I wouldn't say positive, कि let's keep things positive and everything is great, even though I'm, you know, like finished over here. But I just knew that if अगर मैं अपने सर पे सवार कर लूँ इस disease को, it will only keep getting worse. I feel like you think something good and good will happen.
True.
And I was constantly doing that. And that's how I was able to stay active and stay making cheesecakes and continue working my job. I even traveled in the middle during my treatment. I went to Thailand because I kept doing the good things. I realized that जिस दिन मैं down हूँ, ठीक है, take a break. But just then I'm doing well, go out, go to the beach, enjoy the weather, look at the good things in life, be grateful for
milk
being...
it.
Milk it, literally.
That opportunity, milk it.
Yes.
क्योंकि ये लम्हा आपके पास दोबारा नहीं आना. वो जो moment है उसको आप अच्छे तरीके से enjoy करें. Make the most of it. Value yourself, value time.
Yes.
I think you are a living example कि अपने वक्त की कदर करें, अपने skill की कदर करें और अपने ख्वाब को, अपनी dream को अहमियत दें. If you think that you have to, you know, go the road less traveled, जो सारे लोग कह रहे हैं उसके बजाय आपको कुछ मुख्तलिफ करना है, that is going to need courage, that's going to need self-acceptance, and that's going to need self-respect. Because जब तक आप अपनी इज्जत नहीं करते, शायद ये decision लेना बहुत मुश्किल होता है. Zara, where do you go from here? Like, alhamdulillah, God has given you lemons, so you've made lemonade out of it. You make brilliant cheesecake as well. अब आगे क्या करना है?
From here onwards, after everything that I have been through, these last 2 years have been extremely strenuous on me. I've realized that I need to keep putting my life first, my health first, my priorities, and I need to keep doing what makes me happy. And that's the most important thing. And I would like to say that to every woman out there. Whatever struggles you're going through, they're not permanent. There's always healing after every kind of struggle that you go through. And you can always just be happy and continue doing well in life.
You know, तुम्हारी बात सुन के मेरे जहन में आ रहा है कि there are two default modes that women live in, and we're all guilty of it. There is one which is anger and the other that is guilt. या तो हमें गुस्सा आ रहा होता है कि society हमें वो करने नहीं दे रही जो हमारा दिल चाह रहा है. I want to change my reality and I'm not unable to. And when you actually take that step, हमें लगता है हम बहुत selfish हैं, and we start feeling very guilty about that. But I think kudos to women like you who are putting themselves first, who are so crystal clear about their priorities. कि आपकी life, आपकी health, आपका joy, आपकी priorities हैं. And that is why when you accept anything less than that, that can be very damaging. And if you've been doing that for a while, then it's time to repair it, because no damage is beyond repair. Thank you so much, Zara, for taking out time and for speaking to us. I'm sure your story, your experiences will go on to inspire many women, not just in Pakistan, but around the globe. और इसी के साथ मुझे इजाज़त दीजिए. This platform is giving me such a wonderful opportunity to meet talented, inspiring, brave women like Zara, and I hope that you're enjoying these conversations. Send us your feedback, send us your comments. I'll see you next time. Khuda Hafiz.